Dwayne, you're the first one in the ballpark. So you said hello to me. How you doing, bud? Sorry, I've been missing your games as well with my work schedule. Kind of hard to get caught up. So I've got to get around, get caught up to everybody. Hope you're doing well. So you've got Yankees Orioles coming up, or you did do. So man, your 1961 replay has been amazing. Really looking forward to that World Series project that you have coming up down the pipe. So once some more people get in, I have to tell you guys a funny story that the video that I did last night is blocked in, of all places, Russia. So I'll let you guys know. It's like really stupid. Oh my God. So you're getting over a cold. Oh my God. So cold's been hitting everybody this year, man. I mean, like bad, bad, bad. So I feel you, brother. I feel you. I feel you, man. So you're gonna be happy your Braves. Uh, Braves are gonna be tough in the postseason, man. And we're coming up on it too. So you guys are tough. You guys are gonna be the team to beat in the National League. I think it's gonna be. I hate to predict it, but I will. I think we're gonna have a Braves Orioles World Series this year, which would be fun. That's never happened. So Braves and Orioles. It will be fun. It will be fun. So yeah, I will tell everybody why the video I did last night was blocked in Russia. It was kind of funny. Anyhow, we're going to continue with the Castro McGregor League, and we got a good matchup here. Hey, 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 John DFW. John DFW is all about an Orioles Braves World Series. I think it's been a good one. So, so that's why you haven't done much lately. Love the video with the simulator games. Yeah, fun stuff. Fun, fun, fun stuff. So, you guys have to check out. I'll have to bring up if Ken Castro doesn't come in. I'll give you a link to an amazing baseball site that you guys got to check out. I should put it in the description. Yep, two teams with over 100 wins. This should be a hell of a World Series. Let's hope it. Pardon me. Hopes it pans out that way. No, no, n- no disrespect meant to your Braves, you guys. I'm gonna be rooting for the Orioles in this one, though. I think it's because Pittsburgh has met them twice in the World Series and beaten them. Plus, I live really close to Baltimore, so we'd like to see them. But it's going to be a hell of a World Series. The Braves, just a tough, tough team, and I don't see anybody in the National League taking the title. I think the Braves are going to go away. American League postseason is going to be a little tougher this year. It's going to be a little tougher, I think. But I think the Braves have it. They're going to go all the way. National League pennant, definitely. There's cousin Castro, cousin Ken. All right, there's enough in here. So before we get to the game, I got to tell you guys, this is hilarious. So it's not a copyright strike, mind you, not a copyright strike. But I get this thing from YouTube today that my video is blocked, and the reason is because somebody filed a copyright claim on the George Sisler clip that we did last night. We were talking about Sisler. George was talking about Babe Ruth's power hitting balls out one-handed on that short right field porch at Sportsman's Park in St. Louis. And are you guys ready for this shit? So the video is blocked in Russia, of all things. So I guess the war comes home to Beatles eternally because they know I'm rooting for the Ukrainians. And so yeah, so YouTube's like, oh, it's not a copyright strike, doesn't affect your account, blah blah blah. But your video's blocked in Russia. Yeah, exactly. What the fuck, right? My video is blocked in Russia. What a bunch of bullshit. Like okay, I'm sorry, but how many Americans know who the hell George Sisler was? So I have a feeling I know who did it. It was somebody that used to come to this channel a long time ago and got knocked out of Legends and knocked out of mine. And I think I know who it is. And it's like, dude, are you really such a dick? Anyhow, whatever. So who knew the Russians were St. Louis Browns fans, right? Oh my God. Yeah, I know my Russian viewers, John, you know what? Been doing great in St. Petersburg and Moscow and Murmansk. But now, dude, I'm well and truly screwed by whoever filed that. So there you go. I just wanted to pass that along. I don't know if anybody's else in the community has anything so weird happen, but I'm looking. It's like, oh, your videos. I'm thinking, oh shit, is it blocked in the United States or Canada? You know, a baseball country, Australia. No, fucking Russia. So there you go. Yep, 2-2-0 teams tonight, and a hell, two great teams, the 1916 Red Sox and the 1902 Pittsburgh Pirates. Both of these are tied for second behind your 1915 Phillies. So somebody tonight will be tied for first at the end of this. Phillies off to a 3-0 start. So Babe Ruth will take the mound for the 1916 Red Sox, and he'll be countered two Hall of Famers today. Jesse Tannehill for the 1902 Pittsburgh Pirates. So we're going to be going to Exposition Park here soon for that one. Glad you guys could make it in again. What I'm going to do, cousin, is at least on the rare Saturdays that I don't go out, and Sundays will be earlier games at least. So I'm sorry about these late starts. There's really nothing I can do about them, unfortunately. So anyhow, let's get to the ballpark without further ado. We dedicate this to all the Russian baseball fans out there. All right, so for the Boston Red Sox of 1916, the lineup goes like this. Harry Hooper, Dick Kablitzel, Tilly Walker, Larry Gardner, Duffy Lewis, Everett Scott, Bill Kerrigan, Mike McNally, and Babe Ruth. For the 1902 Pittsburgh Pirates, one of the most dominant teams ever, Lefty Davis, Tommy Leach, Fred Clark, Hannes Wagner, Jimmy Burke, no relation to the Jimmy Burke from Goodfellas, by the way. Ginger Beaumont, Jack O'Connor, Wood Conroy, and Jess Tannehill pitching. Exposition Park. The weather today is a cold 38 degrees, wind blowing in from left at 10 miles per hour. And this is going to be a battle for a tie for first place between the 1916 Boston Red Sox and the 1902 Pittsburgh Pirates. Let's get to Exposition Park. And of course, I forgot to change the sound settings, so let me do that. There we go. And here we go. And let's mess around with it here for a little bit, and let's see what we can do. This, like its successor Forbes Field, was a big baseball park. So let's see what the wide camera looks like. Oh, the wide camera looks worse. By the way, so you guys know, there we go. That's a nice one. Wide low, I think, looks really nice. So Michael Silva left me a message, so you guys saw in right field in League Park. He said there's nothing he can do to change that because that's one of the few parks where the field, where the fence is in so close that there is nothing he can do to change that. He said he's been trying, been in touch with the devs at Out of the Park Baseball to see what they can do to correct that. All right. Get to sleep in anyway. Excellent. All right, Harry Hooper will lead it off. Jesse Tannehill, the southpaw, is finishing his warm-up pitches. Welcome to Exposition Park, home of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Let's do a little fly around of this park. There, which I think Mike did a good job on this. The only really home plate views of this are sort of postcards. Anyhow, swinging on the first pitch is Harry Hooper, but this one, Fred Clark spears it. However, Harry Hooper beats it out and gets the infield hit. So Boston with a hit to start the game, and here we go. Anyhow, the photographs of this ballpark are usually like along the first base line is like the most complete photograph of Exposition Park out there. So good extrapolation here by Mike Silva, and nice looking ballpark. This was one of the two parks that hosted the first Modern World Series, of course, Exposition Park, and it just flew out of my head. Huntington Avenue grounds in Massachusetts. All right, Here's Dick Blitzel now. He is nothing for 7. Speedy Hooper on at first. Tannehill has the sign from Jack O'Connor. Here's the 0-1 delivery. The runner goes. This one bunted back to the mound. The only play will be to first. Tannehill up with it and fires to first for the out. Harry Hooper moves to second. So Blitzel bunting and Hooper off with the pitch. Tilly Walker now having a good start to the season. He's 375, 2 runs batted in. Tannehill checks the speedy Harry Hooper at second. Here's the pitch. Tilly Walker swings. This one grounded to third. And the only play will be to first as Tommy Leach makes the clean pick and fires across to Fred Clark. Fred Clark playing a little bit out of position tonight. Hannes Wagner not playing out of position anywhere. You'll notice he's in center field, and that is not a mistake of the game. When Hannes Wagner came over with the best players from the Louisville Colonels, Wagner was a utility player, but not for the common reasons of like, well, yeah, we'll just get him some innings. Wagner was so good that the Pirates could play him just about everywhere. So Hannes Wagner playing center field tonight. All right, Larry Gardner now batting with 2 down, and Boston with a potential run just 90 feet away, and Harry Hooper. Gardner hitting an even 200. He is 1 for 5, including a run batted in. Lefty-lefty matchup. Jack O'Connor sets the target for Jesse Tannehill. The 1-1 pitch, and Gardner sends this liner to center field, but making the catch is Hannes Wagner. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors. A runner left and scoring position. We go to the bottom of the first. The 1916 Red Sox nothing, and the 1902 Pittsburgh Pirates coming to bat. Babe Ruth on the mound for the Red Sox. And we just lost half our viewership. That's all right. The hardcores are hanging in here, and that's all that matters. All right. Lefty Davis will lead things off here. 2 for 5. Hitting 400 overall. No runs batted in for him. Lefty-lefty matchup. Ruth winds and fires. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Lefty Davis. And Davis, this one just a little chopper back to second, and this is going to be an infield hit. Lefty Davis. Looks like he's hurt, and Lefty Davis is out of the game, so Jimmy Sebring will come on to pinch run, and I expect to see Jimmy Sebring staying in the game. So here's Tommy Leach, and Tommy Leach is going to be the player that we're going to be spotlighting tonight from Baseball, the biographical encyclopedia. So that will come when Tommy comes around to bat again. Leach off to a pretty good start. He's hitting .333 with 2 runs batted in. He's 3 for 9 overall. Bernie Strom in here. Welcome in, Bernie. All right. Babe Ruth deals. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Leach. And the runner is off. Jimmy Sebring is going to have himself a stolen base. Head first slide, and he is safe ahead of the Mike McNally tag. So the Pittsburgh Pirates with a runner in scoring position. Nobody out, no score here. Bottom of the first at Exposition Park. The 2-1 pitch to Tommy Leach. Leach swings, and good contact on this one. Fly ball left field. Duffy Lewis making the catch, and Jimmy Sebring will stay at second base. So 1 out here in the bottom of the first for Hall of Fame player and later player manager Fred Clark. He is 1 for 7 with a run batted in. Ruth deals the payoff pitch. Clark swings, and this one, high fly ball into the gap in left field, ranging to his right and making the catch is Tilly Walker. Jimmy Sebring unable to advance on the play, so 2 down for tonight, the center fielder, Hannes Wagner. Again, that is no mistake. Wagner could play so many defensive positions very, very well. Another one of the things that made Wagner great, that he could play outfield. He could play all around the horn, all over the place. So this is not a mistake by the game. Wagner did play outfield and played it well. All right. Wagner just 2 for 9, though, at the plate with a .222 average here early in the season in the Castro-McGregor League. Jimmy Sebring leads off at second. Ruth deals to Wagner. Wagner swings, and this one just a grounder to first. And this one fielded by Dick Blitzel. He tosses on to Babe Ruth covering for the final out of the inning. The Pittsburgh Pirates pick up 1 hit. They strand 1 in scoring position, as did Boston. We go to the top of the second, and we are scoreless in runs and tied in hits at 1 each. So Duffy Lewis, Everett Scott, and Wild Bill Kerrigan due up for the 1916 Boston Red Sox. These teams in a little battle here for first place to tie the 1915 Philadelphia Phillies. Duffy Lewis 1 for 7, 143. Jesse Tannehill ready to deal, has the sign from Jack O'Connor. The count even on Duffy Lewis at 2-2. Lewis swings, and this one a flare to right field. This will get down for a base hit. So Duffy Lewis on with a single as Ginger Beaumont in right field plays it on the hop. Duffy Lewis has really, really good speed and has a cliff named after him, so you got to love that. Here is the shortstop, Everett Scott, hitting 143 as a run batted in, 1 for 7 overall in the year. So Pittsburgh battery going to be keeping a close eye on Duffy Lewis. Fred Clark playing right at first base. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and the runner does go, and O'Connor's only play will be to first. So Everett Scott, with the sacrifice, moves Duffy Lewis into scoring position, and again in dead ball baseball, Everett Scott would have been designated as a sacrificer. That was his job. All right, here's Bill Kerrigan. He is 1 for 6, a 167 average for Wild Bill. Tannehill deals, full count. Kerrigan swings in a 3-2 pitch, line to right. This will go down for a base hit. And Boston, after a little hesitation, so this one gets by the Pittsburgh right fielder all the way to the wall. Beaumont having trouble getting to the ball. And Bill Kerrigan will end up at second base, and they are going to score that a hit. How about that? So an RBI and Boston taking an early 1-0 lead. Bill Kerrigan perched at second for the second baseman, Mike McNally. He has yet to get a hit. He is 0 for 5 in the season. Tannehill with the 1-1 delivery. McNally swings, grounder to short. And up with that is Jack Conroy, and he throws to first. McNally is out on the 6-3 putout. Brings up Babe Ruth, making his first plate appearance of the season. All right, Boston with a 1-0 lead here, 2 down. Kerrigan at second. Here's the pitch. Ruth swings, high pop fly on the third base side on the infield, and making the catch is Tommy Leach. However, the Red Sox pick up a run. They leave a runner in scoring position. We go to the bottom of the second. It's the 1916 Red Sox 1, the 1902 Pirates 0. These 1902 Pirates absolutely dominated the league. I believe they finished 15 games in front of the Brooklyn Bridegrooms. It'll be Jimmy Burke, Ginger Beaumont, and Jack O'Connor due up for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Kerrigan sets the target. Babe Ruth winds and fires. The 1-0 to Jimmy Burke. Burke swings, and this one line drive, center field, but down into the glove of Tilly Walker, making the running catch on that sinking liner. So 1 down for the right fielder for Pittsburgh. Ginger Beaumont, 3 for 6 with a run batted in, having a good start to the season. The lefty waits for Ruth's pitch. Here's the 1-1, the wind up. And Beaumont liner to short, and Everett Scott making a nice play. So 2 up, 2 down now for Jack O'Connor. Wrong pitcher of Jack O'Connor. Sorry guys, I didn't have time. And you can imagine 32 franchises or 30 franchises, however many, or no, yeah, 30 franchises in this. I did not have time to check all the pictures. So note to self, change Jack O'Connor at a future point. Anyhow, Jack O'Connor hitting .444 for the Pittsburgh Pirates here. 3 runs batted in, so 4 for 9 overall. 2 down, bases empty. Babe Ruth deals. Here's the 1-0 to Jack O'Connor. O'Connor swings. This one 2 hop to second, and Mike McNally makes the easy play to first for the final out of the inning. Pittsburgh goes in order, and we're in the top of the third here in Pittsburgh. It's the Red Sox 1 and the Pirates 0. Hey, hello, May. Welcome in. First time to the channel, possibly. Welcome in, welcome in. Bernie, remind us just a note. Opening day, Fenway Park, 1914, tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern. Um, hopefully I'll be here to see it, Bernie, as my work doesn't start till the afternoon. Mike Silva, all right, man. Thank you for checking in, and I got your note about the issues that we had with League Park. Hopefully, Marcus and company can work on that, because there were a few ballparks, as you well know, that had those short porches. So sleep well, my friend. It's always great to see you. This is another great park here from Mike Silva. Mike, I was commenting on this would have been one of the fun parks to work on, because there's not a lot of extant photos or images of Exposition Park. But looking at, I have a postcard version of it that I use in Action PC, and you did a fine job on this one. In fact, the only picture I've seen of Exposition Park was like what these call them, stereograms or something, and it was along the first base line, and then it was like chopped up. So you did a great job here. I'm sure you're bored of hearing that, but nonetheless, you're going to get the pats on the back. Back at the top of the order now here for the 1916 Boston Red Sox and Hall of Famer Harry Hooper. He is 1 for 1. Score 1-0. Jesse Tannehill with the count full. Here comes to Harry Hooper. Hooper swings, and this one, hard ground ball to second, diving stop, but unable to come up with the ball is Jimmy Burke. They're going to give Harry Hooper the infield hit. So Burke, excellent out there at second, but Hooper, too much velocity on the horsehide. Dick Hablitzel now steps in. And Hablitzel, 0 for 7 on the season. Tannehill deals. The runner goes. Hablitzel bunts this one down the third base line. Hablitzel is going to have himself a bunt single. So Boston doing some serious small ball. As one of my cats is, Albert, get down. One of my cats is, my cats, they know when you guys are around here, and they're going to be bad. They're just going to be bad. So, Todd B, welcome in. Ken asking May if May is a Deadball fan. Play a lot of, May says I play a lot of early Out of the Park 24 and watched one of these streams at work and really enjoyed it. Well, thank you. That means a lot. Welcome in. You come in here 3 times and you end up getting a wrench as a thank you. This is, we have a great community here in general, and YouTube. In the particular channel that we have created here, this is not my channel, but ours, the most knowledgeable baseball fans come in here, so you are welcome. And there is Clinton Parks, welcome in to the professor. So, oh my God, so May currently has an 1899 White Stocking save. That's it. And Ken Castro, 19th century, yes. So, May, you've just made a lifelong friend right there and cousin. He and Clinton Parks, 19th century Maven guys, definitely. And this Castro McGregor League, of course, the first letter after cousin Ken. So, hope you enjoy your night with us tonight. 2-1 for the 1916 Boston Red Sox. It brings up Tilly Walker. Red Sox scored a run back in the second. Tilly Walker is 0 for 1. Jesse Tannehill toes the rubber. The 0-1, and this one a bunt, and Boston again playing small ball. Bunt up the first base line. Fielding it is Fred Clark, and he will fire on to Jimmy Burke covering on the play. But the Red Sox advance 2 in scoring position now. Harry Hooper at third. Dick Hablitzel at second, and it brings up Larry Gardner. Gardner is 0 for 1. So Jesse Tannehill working out of the stretch. The 2-0 delivery. Gardner, little excuse me swing out in front of the plate and pounced upon by catcher Jack O'Connor. He will fire on to first. Larry Gardner is retired for the second out of the third inning. Brings up Duffy Lewis now 1 for 1. Tannehill looking to get out of this with no damage. Here's the pitch. Lewis swings. This one grounded to second base, and that's it. Duffy Lewis is retired. The Boston Red Sox leave 2 stranded in scoring position. We head to the bottom of the third inning. The 1916 Red Sox 1. The 1902 Pittsburgh Pirates 0. It'd be Wood Conroy, Jess Tannehill. And I see here, actually, that Jimmy Sebring will not stay in the game. So George Merritt will come in and play left field, or stay in to play left field for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Jimmy Sebring came in to pinch run, and he was hurt. So, or no, he came on to pinch run, and then Sebring just put down on the bench. So now we got it right. Here's Wade Conroy. He's playing shortstop for the Pirates. 1 for 4 with a run batted in for Conroy, hitting .250. Babe Ruth has neither struck out nor walked a batter. He gets the start tonight. Here's the wind in the pitch to Conroy, and showing bunt on the first pitch. Conroy, I don't think, has the wheels to get the infield single, and indeed he doesn't. Bill Kerrigan pounces on that like a 5-cent beer to retire Conroy. And here's Jess Tannehill. Jess making his first plate appearance of the season. Babe Ruth has the sign from Bill Kerrigan. The count full on Jesse Tannehill. And Tannehill looks at ball 4 inside, so Babe Ruth missing with the fastball. When we go back to the top of the order, George Merritt, who'll be making his first plate appearance. Waiting on deck is Tommy Leach, and if they don't turn 2 here, Tommy Leach will be our spotlight player tonight. All right, Ruth ready to go. Checks the speedy Tannehill at first. Here's the pitch to George Merritt, and Merritt sends this one out to center field, ranging in on it, and making the catch is Tilly Walker. So 2 down, and now we go to, as I get a hernia lift in this one. Bernie, you'll have to let me know what you think of this great book. So once again, just for fair use and all that fun stuff, I'm using from my library an excellent book from the editors of Total Baseball. This is called the Biographical Encyclopedia Baseball. And this is a great book. I cannot recommend this one too highly as I continue to rebuild your baseball library, because the rest of it's back in it's either Holland or Ireland. I don't know which country I left it in, like an idiot. I think Holland. All right. Just give me a second. You hear me paging through. I know I could go to an online source, but when I can do books, I'm going to do books. And that is it. All right. Let's see. Where are you, Tommy? Where are you when we need you, my lad? Tommy Leach. All right, guys. Settle in. Here we go. All right. At the beginning of his career, Tommy Leach hoped to join a team that needed a third baseman. He was told not to bother with the Washington Senators because they were already set in third with a player named Wagner. Leach signed with Louisville instead. I hardly had time to get settled before it hit me that this guy, the Louisville club, had a third base, was practically doing the impossible, he later told writer Lawrence Ritter. Leach was on the bench when the big Louisville third sacker made an unbelievable stop to throw out a runner. My eyes are popping out, said Leach. He asked who was playing third and was told that it was Wagner, the best third baseman in the league. As it turned out, the Washington Wagner was Al Wagner, a fair player. The Louisville Wagner was his brother Hannes, one of the greatest players of all time. Fortunately for Leach, Wagner could play any position and much preferred the outfield, so Leach was soon installed at third. A few years later, manager Fred Clark wanted Wagner to play shortstop. Wagner didn't believe he could play that position. Do you believe that, guys? The greatest shortstop of all time, and Wagner didn't think he could play it. But Clark finally talked him into trying again and shifted third baseman Leach over to short. Then, Clark told Leach to complain to Wagner that he hated playing shortstop and he felt he was hurting the team. After several weeks of this, Wagner agreed to switch positions with Leach. As a result, Wagner became, in the opinion of many, the best shortstop the game has ever known. Leach spent most of his career in Wagner's shadow, but he managed to carve out a reputation of his own. Leach grew up in Cleveland, where he played ball with the Delahanty brothers, who sent 5 of their clan to the majors. He began his professional career in 1896 with Pittsburgh of the Virginia League, and during the next few seasons played with several other minor league teams. The New York Giants expressed some interest in him, but when owner Andrew Friedman noted that Leach was only 5 feet 6 inches, he sent him back to the minors. Tommy the Wee, as fans called him, eventually joined Louisville of the National League at the end of the 1898 season. Louisville was dropped from the National League after the 1899 season, but owner Barney Dreyfuss was allowed to buy into the Pittsburgh Pirates. He switched his best Louisville players, among them Wagner, Clark, and Leach, to the Pirates, creating a powerhouse. Pittsburgh narrowly missed capturing the 1900 pennant and then won it the next 3 years. Leach hit .305 for the 1901 champions. In 1902, he led the league with 6 home runs, the lowest league-leading total of the 20th century, and 22 triples. Leach later claimed he weighed only 135 pounds during that season, undoubtedly making him the smallest home run champion in Major League history. After winning the 1903 pennants, the Pirates faced Boston's American League champions in the first modern World Series. But illness and injury had decimated Pittsburgh's pitching staff, and Boston upset the Pirates to claim the World Championship. Leach was outstanding in the series, hitting 4 triples and leading both teams with 7 runs batted in. He hit 2 triples in the opening game, still a record, but he benefited from the fact that because each hit went into overflow outfield crowds, he was awarded third according to prevailing ground rules. We've talked about that on our channel quite a bit. In 1905, Leach injured his hip in a collision at home plate, forcing him to play primarily in the outfield for the rest of his career. He found outfield duty easy after his years in the infield, and only after a couple games he quipped, "Outfielders ought to pay to get in." At age 35, he led National League outfielders with a .990 fielding percentage. In 1909, Pittsburgh won 110 games in the pennant, and Leach led the National League with 126 runs scored. In the World Series, he was again outstanding, hitting .320 in 7 games to lead all players. Leach also led all participants with 8 runs scored. He also saved the day during the opening when, with 2 out and 2 on in the 7th inning, he made a spectacular barehanded catch of a long drive by Ty Cobb. Leach remained with the Pirates until 1912 when he was traded to the Cubs along with pitcher Lefty Layfield for outfielder Solly Hoffman and pitcher King Cole. All 4 were fading veterans, and only Leach was much help to his new club. The next year, he again led the league in runs with 99 and hit .289. After 1915, he left the majors, spending 1916, 17, and part of 1918 in the minor leagues with Rochester, Kansas City, and Chattanooga. Late in 1918, when a number of major league players were serving in the armed forces, he returned to play 30 games with the Pirates. After leaving the majors, Leach helped organize the Florida State League and was player manager of his Tampa club from 1920 through 1922 before finally hanging up his spikes at age 46. He later managed Lakeland and St. Petersburg, and in a second stint at Tampa, he helped develop catcher Al Lopez. In 1935 and 36, he scouted for the Boston Braves. One of the amazing statistics about Leach is that of his 63 career home runs, 49 were hit inside the park. He died in 1969 at age 91, the last man alive who had played in that historic 1903 World Series. So that is Tommy Leach. In 2,156 games, 7,959 at-bats. He scored 1,355 runs, 2,143 hits, as mentioned, 63 home runs, 810 ribbies, a .340 on-base percentage, slugging percentage .370, and a lifetime average of .269. So it's Thomas William Leach, our spotlight player for tonight's game from the Biographical Encyclopedia Baseball. Pick it up, 1,300-page book. Bernie picked up his copy for $7. I'm telling you guys, you can't beat it. Open it to any random page and learn some really, really, really cool stuff. All right, back to the game. Thank you, Cousin Ken. Appreciate that. Oh, right. Yeah, Todd B says, don't say 5-cent beer in Cleveland, shades of the 74 incident. You're absolutely right about that. All right, back to the game, and here is Thomas William Leach. He's 300, hitting at a 300 clip as of this at bat. 0 for 1. Jesse Tannehill on at first, 2 down, 1-0 Boston lead. Babe Ruth with the 0-1 delivery to Leach, and Leach swings, and this one hard grounder to third, and Larry Gardner makes the easy play on to second. So the Pirates end up with a walk in the inning, strand a runner, And we go to the top of the fourth. The 1916 Red Sox won. The 1902 Pittsburgh Pirates, nothing. The line on Boston 1-5-0 for the Pirates, 0-1-1. Everett Scott, Wild Bill Kerrigan, and Mike McNally to bat for the 1916 Scarlet Hose. Jess Tannehill ready to deal to Everett Scott. The 0-1 pitch to Scott. Scott sacrifices last time. This time sends this curveball into right field, and this one will get down for a base hit in front of Ginger Beaumont. So the speedy Everett Scott is aboard for Wild Bill Kerrigan. He's 1 for 1 and responsible for the lone Red Sox run. I'd look for Kerrigan to sacrifice here. Mike McNally waits on deck. Here's the pitch to Kerrigan, and Kerrigan is swinging away, grounded deep to second, and this is going to be a throwing error on Jimmy Burke. Or no, it will not be. It's going to be an error on Fred Clark, unable to handle the throw. So the second error for the Pittsburgh Pirates in this game. And that will put 2 on for Boston. Everett Scott at second, Bill Kerrigan at first. So Jess Tannehill in a little bit of trouble here as Mike McNally steps to the plate. Pitched himself out of trouble back in the third. See if he can do it again. McNally, nothing for 1, 0 for 6 overall as of this at bat. Tannehill deals the 1-2 pitch. McNally swings, liner to right. This one will be a base hit. Ginger Beaumont playing that one cautiously. The throw comes in and hits the cutoff man. And they are going to hold Everett Scott at third base. But now Jesse in a world of trouble. Nobody out. Bases sold out with Red Sox. And the guy coming to the plate, Babe Ruth. So let's have a quick look here at the Bambino in 1916 as a hitter. So Ruth that year with 3 home runs, 15 runs batted in, hit .272. So damned respectable for a pitcher of any era. Of course, when you start looking, things start really heating up. Babe Ruth really starts turning on the gas sort of later on here. In fact, in 1918, right, he'll start into double digits, and Babe Ruth will remain in double digits until his final season in 1935, in which he hit 6 home runs. So, but still, Tannehill dealing with a little bit of a handful right here from the saloon keeper's son from Baltimore, Maryland. Infield playing in. Lefty-lefty matchup. The 1-2 pitch. And this one is going to be a pass ball, and a run will score. So here, Everett Scott. So the Pittsburgh Pirates giving up a gift here. Jack O'Connor getting a little bit crossed up. The count at 2-2 on Babe Ruth. 2 in scoring position. Nobody out. Here's the pitch. Ruth swings. This one lofted to left. This should be deep enough, though. Making the catch is Merritt, and trotting home to score will be Wild Bill Rough Kerrigan. I'm sorry. I've been calling him Wild Bill Kerrigan. That's Mr. Killer or whomever. Anyhow, Kerrigan in to score, and it's now a 3-0 Boston lead. Carlos Yaz. All right. Who was the last pitcher to have the all-time wins record before Cy Young passed him? And so Clinton is saying Pud Galvin. I think I'd have to agree on Pud Galvin. I'm gonna vote Pud Galvin as well. All right, in the box now, Harry Hooper. The 1916 Sox have played a 2 here in the top of the 4th. Hooper, perfect day for him, 2 for 2. Mike McNally at second. Jesse Tannehill with a 1-1 delivery to Hooper. Hooper swings, and this one's going to go all the way down the first base line into the corner. Harry Hooper's going to have himself at least an RBI double, and Hooper will stop there. So McNally comes in to score, and it's now the 1916 Red Sox 4, the 1902 Pirates. Nothing in this battle to tie first place with the 1915 Phils. Both the Red Sox and the Pirates off to a 2-0 start. De Cablitzel now in the number 2 slot for the Red Sox. He is 1 for 1. Speedy Hooper edging off second with 1 down. Here's the 2-1 pitch. And this one driven center field, but it should stay up there long enough for Hannes Wagner to make the catch. And Harry Hooper, with all his speed, is not going to run on Wagner's arm. So, yes, it is Pud Galvin. Clinton says, keep in mind, Beatles, where Cousin will pick up Radbourne in the 19th Century League, he'll pick up Pud Galvin in a Hollywood Minute. And I'll tell you what, I'm sure that Cousin Ken would probably make him his second or third pick. But yeah, both great pitchers, both great pitchers. Old Haas is going to eat up innings. Well, Pud Galvin could eat up the innings too. So you get those two guys in your pitching staff, you're pretty much good for an entire season. All right, here's Tilly Walker now. Boston with 3 in here in the 4th. Tilly Walker is 0 for 1. Jess Tannehill peers back at Harry Hooper. And here's the 1-0. And Tilly Walker, sacrifice bunt last time, fly ball to right field. And measuring it up in right field and making the catch is Ginger Beaumont. But the damage has been done as the Boston Red Sox put 3 on the board. They leave 1 in scoring position. We head to the bottom of the 4th. And the 1902 Pirates have a lot of work to do here, baseball fans. It's 4-0. It'll be Fred Clark, Hannes Wagner, Jimmy Burke. That blew my mind that Hannes Wagner, in that article about Tommy Leach, that Hannes Wagner didn't feel he could play shortstop well. Talk about underestimating one's own talents. All right, so Clark in there now. He is 0 for 1. Babe Ruth has walked a batter. We haven't seen a strikeout by either Jess Tannehill or Babe Ruth, 2 Hall of Fame pitchers facing each other. The 2-1 pitch. Fred Clark flied out his last time up. Clark will send this to center again, but this is going to be a get down for a base hit. So line drive for the Bucko first baseman, who will eventually become the Bucko left fielder and player manager and Hall of Famer. And here he is, Hannes Wagner, 0 for 1. So a great hit and run tandem here. Both earlier in their career. Wagner's first year in the major with the Louisville Colonels in 1897. Babe Ruth deals. Here's the pitch. And there goes Fred Clark. The throw down by Kerrigan is spot on the money. And Kerrigan is 2 for 4, gunning down runners. So 1 away, base is empty. Looks like Wagner couldn't get himself the pitch that he wanted, but this one in the inside part of the plate. All right, the count, 3 balls, 1 strike on the Flying Dutchman. Here's the pitch by Ruth. Wagner swings and laces one to right field, and this will get down for a base hit. So, not the best call there, but Wagner aboard. And Clark, had he not been gunned down, Clark is at third easily on that play. Jimmy Burke now, 0 for 1. Wagner, an aggressive lead off of first. Babe Ruth with a check of the runner. Here's the pitch. And Wagner is off to the races, and Kerrigan does it again. Bill Kerrigan, now 3 for 5 throwing out runners, getting one of the greatest base stealers of all time. At least until, Ricky and the others came along. Of course, none of these guys caught Sliding Billy for a long time, did they? All right, Jimmy Burke back in there. Here's the 1-0 with 2 down now, 2 caught stealings. Jimmy Burke swings line to left, and this will get down for a base hit. The Pirates, perhaps getting a little bit too aggressive in this inning, would have at least gotten on the board. The 2 outs again are the 2 caught stealings. All right, so Jimmy Burke, speedy Jimmy Burke on first, and here's the right fielder, Ginger Beaumont. Beaumont would go on to have some time with the cross-state Philadelphia team. Congratulations to the Phillies being in the postseason again this year, by the way. 2-2 pitch by Babe Ruth. And Beaumont swings. This one sinking liner, center field. It's a base hit. And the Pirates are going to look back at the inning, and Burke slides in safely. He is safe at third. Unless they get something here, the 2 caught stealings will loom large. Jack O'Connor, I know I'm harping on that, but there's aggressive chance taking, but you got to figure if Kerrigan guns down Fred Clark and Hannes Wagner, that's going to shut your running game down right there, I think. Speed on the base paths. O'Connor gets a base hit, and the Pirates are easily on the board. Beaumont gets to third. Babe Ruth deals the 2-1 pitch to O'Connor. O'Connor swings, and it's all for nothing. Throw to second, and that is the inning. So the Bucks strand a pair, and 2 runners cut down. Boston maintains his 4-0 lead as we go to the top of the 5th inning. So, Fred Clark always underperforms, as do the 09 Bucks on his tabletop. They do for me, too, surprisingly. And a strong team beat a very, very tough Tigers team in the World Series. All right, as we continue, me boyos, it's Larry Gardner, Duffy Lewis, and Everett Scott due up. Jess Tannehill deals. Here's the 1-0 delivery to Larry Gardner. Grounded out back in the 3rd inning, and he's going to ground to second right here as Jimmy Burke makes the pick and fires onto Fred Clark for the 4-3 putout. So 1 up, 1 down now for Duffy Lewis. He's 1 for 2. Count full. He grounded out his last time up. Duffy's going to ground to short, I think. Diving stop at short and up with it. And again, we have an error. And Conroy, it's going to be another error on Fred Clark. So error number 3. So the throw on target by Conroy, and Fred Clark definitely playing out of position and need to move him to the outfield. So Fred Clark, definitely a liability, not only on the base paths, getting caught stealing, but 2 of the 3 Pirate errors belong to the Hall of Famer. Everett Scott, 1 for 1. Duffy Lewis at first. 1 down, the 1-2 pitch. The runner does not go. This one, line drive, left field, base hit. So Boston with 2 aboard, and Boston playing a little bit more conservative game here in terms of base paths, playing a little bit more of a modern-looking game, I guess you might say. So Duffy Lewis at second, Everett Scott at first. Yep, the errors are killing him, May. And I think an interesting contrast, too, between these 2 teams, as, again, I've talked about on these broadcasts before, throughout the Deadball era, teams worked really hard in baseball itself to try to reduce errors. And so you see that the team from 1902 is out-erroring the team from 1916. So, yeah, the errors, and again, catching Clark and Wagner stealing, that is not good for the Buccos. Trivia time, guys. So while this is not baseball related, I never knew until a few days ago. I'm reading a wonderful book right now called Under the Black Flag, and it's about pirates, not the Pittsburgh Pirates. And so the difference between Corsairs and Buccaneers. I'll tell you the difference between another, but I never knew where the term Buccaneer came from, right? So people that originally had lived in the Caribbean, right, that would eventually become Buccaneers, right, pirates, they lived actually in the mountainous regions in these Caribbean islands. And so the French name for processing drying meat in strips is boucaner. And so these guys eventually take to the seas, and the term Buccaneer comes about. So a little pirate trivia for you. And what the hell? Corsairs were the pirates that were mainly on the Barbary Coast. Buccaneers were the pirates in the Caribbean. So there you go. So all these times I've been calling the pirates the Corsairs at the confluence of the 3 rivers, or the Pittsburgh Corsairs. I have to reserve it for Buccaneers now. All right, who cares, right? Here's Bill Kerrigan batting with 1 out and 2 on. Jess Tannehill with a 1-2 pitch. Kerrigan looks at a called strike 3. Nice fastball there. Jess Tannehill picking up the first strikeout in the game for either pitcher. So 2 down for Mike McNally. He's 1 for 2. Here's the 1-0 delivery. McNally swings, and he lines this one. Oh, diving catch in right field. Ginger Beaumont makes the catch. What a play. The Red Sox strand 2, and it remains 4-0. We're going to look at that Ginger Beaumont play one more time. So this one, Beaumont having to cover a lot of ground and a diving catch. And good job there by Mike to show these accurate uniforms of the Pirates, not black and gold. That wouldn't come along till much, much later in franchise history. All right, Wood Conroy, Jess Tannehill, and it's George Merritt. Again, my apologies, guys. Yep, George Merritt for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Jimmy Sebring came in to pinch run. We did have an injury in this game, so. All right, here we go. Wood Conroy, nothing for one. Babe Ruth has walked one. Holds a 4-0 lead, enjoying a 5-hit shutout right now. And how about this? Wood Conroy showing a good eye up there. Has walked on 4 pitches by Babe Ruth, and it brings up Jess Tannehill. Here's the 1-0. Tannehill gets a good bunt down, and no, it has not popped up. Caught by Bill Kerrigan. Bill Kerrigan, an absolute wizard behind the plate for the Red Sox. So 1 down. Conroy had to get back to first quickly. Sacrifice play in order, back at the top of the order for the substitute left fielder, George Merritt. Now, I would have played Merritt probably at first and moved Clark to left field, but I'm not sure that Clark was an outfielder just yet in 1902. Babe Ruth deals the 1-1 pitch to Merritt. Merritt swings, and this one high fly ball left field, ranging to his left end, making the catch is Duffy Lewis as he calls off Tilly Walker. So 2 down. Conroy remains frozen at first base, and here's Tommy Leach. He was our player spotlight tonight. 0 for 2 to Leach. The count full. Leach swings, and this one high fly ball to right field, but Harry Hooper will bring it down into the glove. The Buccos get a walk, and that is it. We go to the top of the 6th. Boston still leading Pittsburgh 4-0, as May and Ken having a good chin wag on some 19th century baseball. So he started from 1871. Wow. Nice. So Ken, you got to be loving that. There's a 1-1 card on eBay right now, says Todd B. Used back card PSC 10 of Wagner, Cobb, Shoeless Joe. Buy it now, $50,000. Yeah, next paycheck, Todd. Let me get right on that. Carlos says he's still doing his 1903 replay, and let me scroll back here. And where you go? Find himself watching every game. Rube Waddell pitches, and who wouldn't, right? Lee Richmond is best pitcher, which isn't saying much. Basically, when we dropped Bob Ferguson, we started to really sluggle. So this is awesome. We have we have 3 folks here now, 19th century folks here. Love it, love it, love it, love it to death. Had I known, I would have done a 19th century game. I would have had the best color in the league here tonight with you 3 guys. Ken, always awesome with it. Clinton bringing some great facts. Now we got another deadballer, or a 19th century player here. All right, Babe Ruth, 0 for 1 with an RBI. Will lead it off here in the 6th. Back at the top of the order, Harry Hooper and Dick Kablitzel for the 1916 Boston Red Sox, who defeated the Brooklyn Dodgers in the 1916 series. The Dodgers, that was their first time to the big show at the end. Jess Tannehill, the count even, 2-2 on Ruth. Ruth swings, last time with bases loaded. Really, Ruth didn't do anything. Fly ball, routine to center field. Hannes Wagner makes the play for the first out of the inning. Harry Hooper now leads it off. Perfect 3 for 3 and a run batted in. Hooper in line, probably to be MVP. Should be shared by Bill Kerrigan with his great defense behind the plate for the Red Sox, should they hold on and win this. Tannehill deals. Hooper with a run-scoring double last time. This one lined to first. Fred Clark making a nice play, spearing that one out of the air. So 2 away, and that brings up Dick Kablitzel. And Kablitzel's 1 for 2. Here is the wind and the pitch. Kablitzel pop fly on the infield, calling for it, and making the catch is Jack O'Connor. So Boston does nothing here, and we go to the home half of the 6th inning here, Exposition Park, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Out of the Park 24. And it's the 1916 Red Sox 4, the 1902 Pittsburgh Pirates nothing. It'll be Fred Clark, Hannes Wagner, and Jimmy Burke, the number 3, 4, 5 hitters for the Buccaneers. Fred Clark, 1 for 2 in the game. Babe Ruth winds and deals. Fred Clark swings on this first pitch, grounded deep to short, and the throw to first in time. Nice play by Everett Scott. We're going to have to do the next time we see Everett Scott in a game, we're going to have to do a player spotlight on Everett Scott. Somebody deserving, definitely. And as Larry Gardner, we got, well, all these players. We'll get to them, not all of them, but Everett Scott is definitely a guy we need to spotlight at some point. All right, here's Hannes Wagner, 1 for 2. And a caught stealing. Babe Ruth deals to Wagner. Singled his last time up. Wagner swings. This one just a dribbler back to Ruth at the mound. And Ruth will fire on to Blitzel for the 1-3 putout. And 2 down here in the Pittsburgh 6th. Jimmy Burke, 1 for 2. Babe Ruth. The count full on Jimmy Burke. Burke swings. This one, hopper to short. Everett Scott takes the room service bounce, and Jimmy Burke is out. And the Pittsburgh Pirates go quietly. We go to the 7th. It is still Boston 4, Pittsburgh nothing. Boston 4-9-0. Pittsburgh 0-5-3. Here's Tilly Walker, followed by Larry Gardner and Duffy Lewis. Jesse Tannehill with the 0-1 delivery. Swung on. High fly ball to left field. Going back on this ball and making the catch is Hannes Wagner. 1 away now as Larry Gardner steps in. He is nothing for 3 in this game. Tannehill with the 0-2 pitch. And this one, just a dribbler back to the mound. And Jesse Tannehill has it for out number 1. No, the throw off target. So Tannehill picks up the throwing error, E1. Let's look at that one again. I really thought he had that. Let's look at it again. You get so engrossed in this, I forget. I rarely look at the play-by-play. So diving stop, bad throw. And Clark able to keep it close by to prevent Gardner from moving to second. How rare is a dead ball in which both teams commit no errors? Super rare. Super, super rare. Don't know the exact numbers, Todd, but it was so rare in the day that when they would do game write-ups in the dead ball era, the journalists would actually make it a headline, right? Or at least if there was a rundown of the game scores, Todd, they would say, like, for instance, yeah, errorless game in St. Louis. So it was actually news. It was pretty embarrassing. And so both the National League and American League and baseball as a whole doing everything they could to reduce errors. And if you look, the errors do, as the years go on through the dead ball era, they do, I wouldn't say plummet, but they do decrease. Got to remember, a lot of these guys were wearing tiny gloves. They would put holes in the palm of the glove, actually, to help stop the baseball. So not the big hunks of, what is it? What are they made of? Cowhide, leather, whatever, that fielders wear now. You know, what I would have loved to have seen, and then we'll continue the game, is the old practice, and nobody here, I think, was alive to have seen it. I know I wasn't. You know, fielder, when you third out was made, you just flipped the glove out in the outfield. There were no injuries, and I hear, like, guys that have seen games where that happened, and they said it was beautiful seeing, like, these gloves just kind of flung up in the air as the team that was on defense was coming into bat. Something they should bring back, but there's no record of anybody tripping over a glove in baseball. But oh well. One of the many things that should come back that won't. But I would have loved to have seen something like that. What was it Billy Crystal says in the Ken Burns baseball documentary, Grown Men Playing the Little Boys Game? Because when we played, man, we left our gloves out in the field. We didn't, We didn't bring them in with us. It was fun. I'm talking Sandlot games, Little League games, yeah, but we played Sandlot, man. We were like those kids in Sandlot. We left our gloves out there. And hubcaps were first base and whatever. All right, Larry Gardner at first. Here's Duffy Lewis. Now he's 1 for 3. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Duffy Lewis grounds this one. Will this be a 2-ball? The Bucks will not turn 2. Hard slide. Jimmy Burke will take a seat on the dupa, as our Eastern European friends would say. Duffy Lewis on in the fielder's choice, 2 down for Everett Scott. Perfect 2 for 2 today. Here's the 0-2 to Scott. And hard ground ball to second base. And up with it is Jimmy Burke. He will go to first, side retired. The Red Sox strand a runner. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Pittsburgh Pirates still down by 4. All right. So, yeah, so big difference. So errors in 1917, errors per team per game, 1.5. Way down. So I'm sure, Ken, if you were to look up 1919, look at those early numbers, let's say the first 7-8 years of the 20th century. So, all right. Yeah, good pitcher out there. So they're allowing Tannehill to stay in. Tannehill, of course, not in the Hall of Fame as a Pirate, but as a Cardinal. There's no Pirate pitcher. There are pitchers who pitched for Pittsburgh in the Hall of Fame, but there's no pitcher in the Hall of Fame as a Pittsburgh Pirate. Damn it. The closest we got was Babe Adams. All right, Ginger Beaumont, Jack O'Connor, and Wood Conroy for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Babe Ruth has walked 2, pitching a 5-hitter. Full count now on Ginger Beaumont. And the lefty swings, high fly ball left field, and running to his left and pulling it down is Duffy Lewis. Duffy Lewis playing it like he is back at Fenway. All right, Jack O'Connor now, 0 for 2. Here's the pitch by Ruth. O'Connor grounded out last time up, and he's going to ground up this time as Everett Scott gobbles that up at short, fires onto Dick Blitzel for the 6-3 putout. So 2 Pirates up, 2 Pirates down for Wood Conroy, who is 0 for 1. Babe Ruth into his wind, and the 2-2 pitch to Conroy. Conroy swings, slow dribbler back to the mound. Babe Ruth up with it, and fires to Blitzel for the 1-3 putout. So the Pittsburgh Pirates do absolutely nothing, and we head to the 8th inning with Boston on the verge of tying the 1915 Philadelphia Phillies for first place in this league. The Bucks will own second all by themselves, I think. All right, Bill Kerrigan, 1 for 3 with a run batted in. Jess Tannehill with a strikeout. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Kerrigan. Kerrigan swings. This one just a little roller back to second, and it's going to be another error. Can you believe it, on Fred Clark? They got to get Fred Clark away from first base. Error number 5 for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and Fred Clark just shouldn't be there at the first sack. I think we can agree with this. Oh, yeah, so these face packs, yep. In fact, May, if you play Action PC Baseball, you can use those photos in Out of the Park Baseball. Just copy them. I don't use Face Gen. Sometimes you'll see Face Gens on my broadcast, and it's just because I forget to update player photos because I play too many baseball sims. But yep, I like having the player photos myself. I think Face Gens come a long way, but part of the idea of this channel that we've created is to spotlight these players, and so I like people to get just a little look at what these players actually look like. So, also was an earlier version of Face Gen had Hannes Wagner wearing a mustache and a goatee, and he never did either. So I was like, nope, that's it. Photo packs for sure. For newer players, yeah, I think Face Gen does a great job though. All right, Kerrigan is at first, nobody out for Mike McNally, who's 1 for 3. Lined out his last time up. McNally shows bunt and misses on the changeup. The count 0-1. Here's the pitch. McNally bunts this one foul. The count 0-2. I know I'll be going back to pitch-by-pitch baseball at some point, but not when they're late games like this. And swinging away, diving stop, and a catch at third base. At third base by Tommy Leach. And Tommy Leach, you get yourself a Super Stats replay on that one. Here it comes. Tommy Leach flashing the leather for the Pittsburgh Pirates. All right, one down. Bill Kerrigan remains at first base, and here's Babe Ruth. Nothing for two. Run batted in. The 0-1. And Ruth gets the bunt down as the runner was in motion. Ruth with a successful sacrifice. Bill Kerrigan moves into scoring position for the Red Sox. 2 down. Back at the top of the order for the Hall of Famer, Harry Hooper. Hooper, 3 for 4 with a run batted in. Tannehill, count full on Hooper. And Hooper, just a little blooper, Texas leaguer into center field. And Hooper is going to have himself an RBI. And the Red Sox have their 5th run. So pretty safe to say the Red Sox have this one in the proverbial poke. Harry Hooper at first now for Dick Blitzel, who's 1 for 3. Hooper leads off first. Jess Tannehill glances at the runner. And this one is going to be a pass ball on Jack O'Connor. And that will move Harry Hooper to second. So pass balls, errors, caught stealings. Not to take anything away from the Red Sox, legitimate runs being scored, but the Pirates also beating themselves in this game. But we're talking about the 1902 Pirates, and this is early in the season. These guys are not going to fade away. All right, and neither are these Red Sox. The 1-0 delivery, sinking liner center field, diving catch out there in center by the Flying Dutchman. All right, 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 left. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning. It's the Red Sox 5 and the Pittsburgh Pirates nothing. Bernie offering, he says, most players stopped leaving their gloves on the field in the 1950s. He goes back to 1959 and he's never seen it. Okay. I would have loved to have seen something like that, though. Wow. Thank you, Bernie. Appreciate it. Texags, welcome in, man. Good to see you. Texags sneaking in here at Exposition Park. Yeah, John, I would agree with you that Face Gen is good for from 1960 to present. And since most of the baseball I play is pre-1960, that's kind of the other reason why I like the real player photos. All right, Jess Tannehill and then George Merritt and Tommy Leach due up here in the bottom of the 8th. Babe Ruth with the wind and the 0-1 pitch to Jess Tannehill. Tannehill swings, liner to left, and what a catch by Duffy Lewis. So we'll do that as a regular replay but Duffy Lewis plays left field like Gandalf out there. Look at this. Boom! Duffy Lewis wasted no time, got a good jump on that ball, and they say that an outfielder knows where that ball is or where it's going by hearing it off the crack of the bat. All right, back at the top of the order for George Merritt, who did not expect to see any playing time today. Babe Ruth with the 0-1. Here's the wind and the pitch to Merritt. Merritt swings, and Rainbringer on the infield. Out on the shallow grass, now back on the dirt. Making the catch at shortstop is Everett Scott for out number 2, and here's Tommy Leach. Tommy, though the spotlight player of today's game, is wearing the collar. 0 for 3. Here's the pitch. Tommy swings, hard liner to left, and Duffy Lewis show again. The diving catch, sliding catch, whatever you want to call it. 1, 2, 3, go the Pirates. We go to the 9th. Duffy Lewis doing it up out there. It is 5-0 Red Sox, and it'll be Tilly Walker, Larry Gardner, and Duffy Lewis. Just Tannehill uncorks the 1-1, and Walker swings. Ground diving stop at short, throw from the knees, and can you believe it? Can you believe it? Fred Clark, another error. So, wow, 6 errors in the game, and 5 of them, I believe, belong to Fred Clark. We'll look at the end of the game. Unbelievable. I'm not going to cheat and juggle this Pirates lineup. Pirates roster. There are 30 teams. in this league, 15 19th century and 15 dead ball. I'm not going to cheat, even though the Pirates are my team. But Fred Clark should not be playing second. He was a great left fielder, but wow, he is stinking up the place at first. All right, anyhow, Tilly Walker is at first. Nobody down for Larry Gardner, who is nothing for 4. Tannehill deals, looking for the 2 ball here. And it's not going to be a double play, but they're going to take this little pop out if they can get it. On the third base side and down into the glove is Tommy Leach. So 1 away, Tilly Walker remains at first. Duffy Lewis, 1 for 4. The 2-2 pitch, and Lewis swings. This one, line drive left field. This will get down, base hit. So Tilly Walker on at second. George Merritt playing very, very conservatively. I don't think there's any way he was going to get to that Lewis hit anyhow. So the Red Sox with 2 on, 1 down. Jesse Tannehill looking for the double play here, but Everett Scott 2 for 3 in the game. Here's the pitch. Scott swings, grounder to first, 3-6, and that's all they're going to get. So Scott aboard in the fielder's choice, 2 down. Tilly Walker at third for Bill Kerrigan, who's had an excellent day defensively at the plate, 1 for 4 with a run batted in. Jesse Tannehill from the stretch, the 2-1 delivery from the southpaw, grounded to third. And up with that win is Tommy Leach, and fires to Fred Clark, who actually manages to hold on to the ball for the final out. The Red Sox leave 2 in scoring position. We go to the bottom of the 9th, and it's going to be the heart of the Pittsburgh Pirates order: Fred Clark, Honus Wagner, and Jimmy Burke. Fred Clark 1 for 3 and a shit ton of errors. Babe Ruth with the 1-1 pitch. And Clark sends this one, a roller, diving stop, but short, and that's going to be an error. Gotta love the irony. So that will be an E6. So error on Everett Scott, and the man who committed the most errors in this game is on thanks to an error. All right, here's Honus Wagner. He is 1 for 3. Can the Pirates get something going here? Bottom of the 9th, nobody out. Superb contact hitter at the plate, and speedy base runner at second. But remember, Bill Kerrigan threw both of these guys out earlier in the game. Ruth deals to Wagner. Wagner swings in the first pitch. High fly ball to left field. This one is back. This one deep. This is going to go to the wall. Clark easily scores on this one. Wagner into third. He slides and he is safe. RBI, triple for Honus Wagner. Fred Clark comes home to score. So Wagner with the RBI triple gets the Buccos on the board here in the bottom of the 9th. It's 5-1. And here is Jimmy Burke. So these fans here at Exposition Park, not a lot to cheer about. If you ever went to a game at Three River Stadium, in the parking lot of Three River Stadium, they had home plate painted where it was in Exposition Park. So I don't know if there's any sort of memorial there or not, because that would still be, I guess, in the around the PNC Park area. So the Pirates are very good at recognizing physical tradition. If you go on the campus of University of Pittsburgh, the left field wall where Mazeroski's home run went over to win the 1960 World Series is still there on campus, and home plate is encased exactly where it was in Forbes Field. It's under a protective glass. So very cool. But I'm just curious because when I was working in Pittsburgh, most of the time, I'd get off work. I was a demonstrator at a magic shop on the south side, and by the time I would get off work, it was already the third inning, and driving from the south side to get to the North Shore and get into the ballpark halfway through the game. Meh. All right, here's Jimmy Burke. Not that anybody cares, but I thought I would share that little story at least about Exposition Park. Wagner at third, nobody out. The Bucs with a run in, but a long way to go here to catch these Red Sox. Ruth from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Burke, and Burke a little grounder, and this one booted by Scott at short. Wagner will come in to score. So that's the second error committed by the 1916 Red Sox. Wagner comes in, and now it's a 5-2 ball game. Jimmy Burke at first. Here we go. D. Scott Howard coming in says, "Hey, Deadballers." Yeah, the earlier years are missing a lot of players. So Tex Ag says he left his glove in the field in 1967. He was 12 years old, just forgot it. That's funny. Cousin Ken says Sabres just had an event, the unveiling of a historical marker at the location of home plate for Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh. Well, that's really cool. I mean, you know, we did win 2 World Series there. I don't miss that cookie cutter, but we won there in 1971 and 79, and we're pretty damned competitive except for 1973. So, and again in 91 and 92. But PNC Park just blows it away. But that's really, really cool. Thanks for letting me know that, Ken. I had no idea. I'm just happy my Bucks didn't lose 100 games this year. We have a good, strong, young team there. Congrats to the Braves, to the Phillies, to the Orioles, and all that. I'm predicting, cousin, don't take this personally. I'm predicting an Orioles-Braves World Series, and I'm rooting for the Orioles to take it all. All right, Jimmy Burke at first. Babe Ruth deals. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Claude Ritchie. Claude Ritchie swings, sinking liner to left. Base hit. And the Pirates are not going gently into that good night. Nobody out, 2 aboard for Pittsburgh. Speed on the base paths. The faster Jimmy Burke at first, but the rather fleet Claude Ritchie, who was a regular for these Bucks. We'll have a quick look at Claude Ritchie as a player. Career spanning from 1897 to 1909. Claude Ritchie started with Cincinnati, then Louisville, was with Pittsburgh, and then finished his career with the Boston Beaneaters. A lifetime .273 hitter with 155 stolen bases for Claude Ritchie. Only struck out 290 times, not too shabby. 18 home runs, 673 runs batted in. So Claude Ritchie is at first. Here's Jack O'Connor again. Pardon, I forgot to change this picture. I do have to do that. Here's the pitch to O'Connor. O'Connor swings, and this one driven to left, and I mean way back, and the Pittsburgh Pirates are going to be within 1. Jack O'Connor picking up the triple. 2 RBI. Triple. Gotta love it. Gotta love it if you're a Bucko fan. So Jimmy Burke and Claude Ritchie come in to score, and the Pirates are in striking distance. Nobody out, bottom of the 9th, and we have a pinch hitter now, Ed Phelps. 0 for 1 on the season. Wow. So, when was the last time the teams with the 2 best records met in a World Series? That's been a while, cousin. That's what? Whew. That's a poser. It's been a few years at least. All right, Babe Ruth. Jess Tannehill is on deck. We'll see if Tannehill will bat. So the Buccos battling back here in the bottom of the 9th. Oh, no. I said the Dodgers last year, and I was wrong. Yeah, last season, and I was totally wrong. I thought the Dodgers were going to win it all last year. I don't think the Dodgers can take down the Braves. I really, really don't. 2018, Red Sox and Dodgers. Thank you, May. So, yeah, it has been 5 years. Wow. Babe Ruth pitches from the stretch. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Ed Phelps. Phelps shows bunt and coming home. And it was an attempted steal of home. The squeeze missing, and well, let's look. We don't get to see those too much, and it doesn't look so exciting. But here it comes. Runner breaks for home, and Kerrigan just has to wait, and 1 down. Gutsy play. That's a Ken Castro play there. Attempted steal of home. Suicide squeeze. Ed Phelps batting with the bases empty. Here's Babe Ruth's pitch, the 1-2. Phelps swings, and that would have scored another run, I think. Grounder to second, and that's the second out of the inning. And it's down to Kitty Bransfield. Kitty Bransfield is 2 for 5 with a run batted in, 400 average for him. Can Bransfield tie it up here for the Pittsburgh Pirates? He needs to get on base because he's not a home run hitter. Babe Ruth into his wind, and the pitch. Bransfield swings, sinking liner, center field, and the Buccos could have tied this one up had they not tried the suicide squeeze. So these Pirates, the aggressive base running not helping too much. Chief Zimmer will pinch hit. Now we're back at the top of the order, so George Merritt's day is done. Chief Zimmer seeing limited, very limited playing time. He is 0 for 1. Kitty Bransfield with serious speed, and the Bucks may send him, but again, Kerrigan has been able to shut down this Pittsburgh running game quite effectively. Babe Ruth winds and deals. Zimmer swings. This should be the ball game. Twisting foul in the infield and outside the foul line on the first base side. The Red Sox stave off a Bucco storm and rally in the bottom of the ninth to edge the Pirates 5-4. I think we had a hell of a ball game here, guys. So the Red Sox defeat the 1902 Pirates 5-4 at Exposition Park today. Leading the charge for the Red Sox was right fielder Harry Hooper, so he gets player of the game. He went 4 for 5 with a double and 3 singles while adding 2 RBI. Red Sox pitcher Babe Ruth gets the win, and so he goes to 1-0. Tannehill gets the loss. The Red Sox now at 3-0, so they are tied with the 1915 Phillies for first place. With the Red Sox leading 4-0 in the top of the 8th, Hooper hit a run-scoring single off of Pirate pitcher Jess Tannehill. It was the 6th hit of the season for Hooper and put his team ahead 5-0. So I think we're going to give co-MVP to Bill Kerrigan. Had Bill Kerrigan not gunned down Fred Clark and Hannes Wagner, I think this would have been a very, very, very different game. But Harry Hooper certainly deserving of those plaudits. Babe Ruth letting the defense do the work for him, struck out nobody, 2 walks. Just Tannehill, pardon me, whiffed 1. Let's look at errors. This was the big one. So Fred Clark with 4 errors. So he has 6 errors in the season. So 4 errors. Ginger Beaumont and Jess Tannehill, all errors for the Pirates. Jack O'Connor with 2 passed balls. Jimmy Sebring did steal 1. Fred Clark, Hannes Wagner, Jack O'Connor, all caught stealing. The only error, there were 2 errors actually by Everett Scott for the Boston Red Sox. Not much else to say. Some triples, both by the Buccos, Hannes Wagner and Jack O'Connor. So let's go ahead and leave this game. And we're going to play out what we have left here. I know we had a couple good 19th century matchups, I think. Or do we play? No, we have... Do we have everything done here? No. So Red Stockings and Grays, we're going to save this one because I want Cousin Ken and now our new Deadball guy, new Deadball person, May. Yep, Christopher Slovic. That's right, gentlemen. The Creators Cup champion, 1902 Pittsburgh Pirates, and almost beat these Red Sox. What a game. So when we do the 19th century, which will be tomorrow night, gentlemen, it will be the 1875 Red Stockings against the 1884 Providence Grays. It will be Albert Goodwill Spalding versus Charlie Sweeney. So looking at the standings, that will be the only game left to play on this. And then we're going to start speeding this thing up a little bit. But let's look at the standings of today. In the Radbourne Division, the 19th century, the 1895 Cleveland Spiders in sole possession of first place at 3-0. The Philadelphia Phillies and the 1915 Phillies and the 1916 Red Sox in the Wagner Division in sole possession of first place at 3 wins, no losses. The Naps at 1-0, so that actually gives them second place. And then we got a bit of a cluster, you-know-what, with the 1992 or the 1902 Pirates, 1913 Senators, and 1914 Braves at 2-1 in a 3-way tie for third, and they are a game back along with the Naps. That's where we stand. And if we look here, upcoming schedule, we're gonna have some pretty good matchups here when actually after we finish the next day in both. So I'd like to find games that have good matchups. Um, but anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed tonight's trip back to the Deadball era. And we got a long, long way to go. And we can take all the time we want. All right. I know that Out of the Park saves games, but I'm paranoid. Whew. So Lee Richmond pitched the first ever game for the Ruby Lakes franchise. Previous trivia. Missed that one. So Christopher, he has a holiday today from teaching the ankle biters. So it's good to see. May just introduce you to hey, Mr. Wrestling. Where? Thank you, man. He says the new audio sounds great. We haven't seen you here in ages and ages, my friend. Good to see you. So May, there's a lot of great people here in this community. I don't know who you've listened to or whatever. Christopher Slovic, one of the best voices. This guy sounds like the real deal McCoy, man. He really does. So definitely check out his channel, Legend Sports Universe. Who checked in a little while earlier, I believe, way on the way back machine, and just a great group of people here. This is family, and I do hope that you'll come back. We all hope you'll come back. Cousin Ken really hopes that you come back. Mr. Wrestling 2, how have you been? And this is your third time back, so you get the honorary wrench, by the way. So you are a standard moderator on the channel now. That means you can post links, you can toss out the trash, what have you. Ninth inning hocus pocus. Texags and I are trying to find something where we're not copying off of RJO Network, and I feel badly. I need to get a message to Robert. I'm not missing your games on purpose. I'm working. So really miss him. All right. This is good to see you, man. It's been too long. Mr. Wrestling 2. Quite a knowledgeable baseball fan. All of these guys are. Everybody in here, all of you. So yeah, everybody. Our Red Sox fan. Old baseball. I'm older baseball. I'm probably the only person that's consistently kind of old baseball. In fact, I kind of sound stupid even more stupid when I try to do like 1990s baseball or even worse, 2000s baseball, because I don't know who the hell I'm like, what the hell I'm talking about. So I love the vicarious thrill of quote unquote seeing these great players. Once again, there's going to be, just fair warning to you guys, there is going to be more Diamond Mine baseball coming up on the channel. I've decided that even though it has no bells and whistles, there's no audio, I do want to bring it back. So you're going to be seeing more of that. Now, I'm going to follow this game in a few minutes because I'm still in a baseball mood. Probably maybe one person will hang around, maybe nobody will. But coming up will be Baseball for Windows, Ernie Harwell, and we'll be doing a game from 1949. So if not, something for you to listen to tomorrow if you're rolling up a game or what have you. Maybe you want to fall asleep and listen to Ernie Harwell as opposed to me. That's coming up next on the Chanel. With that said, I want to thank Tex Ags. Before I do thank anybody, Ned McGreevy. Okay, it'll be a new stream, Bernie, rather than this one. So I'll be starting a new stream. It'll be 5 minutes. Be Ernie Harwell, 1949. I think it's going to be, we're going to do a New York Giants game tonight, I think. Either Giants or Red Sox, I'm not sure which. Whoever's up on the schedule is who plays. Let's check, I'll tell you. So 1 sec. Oh, you guys won't be able to see it. I have to get rid of Out of the Park Baseball or you won't be able to see it. All right, so File, Exit, Out of the Park, and boom. All right. Thank you, Out of the Park. Let's bring up 1949. I've been trying to create ballparks for this game, and it's driving me crazy. All right. Let me see. Who do we have coming up? All right. Possible game tonight on Baseball for Windows. The only one It's actually going to be the Cleveland Indians at the St. Louis Browns. The Indians were in the pennant race that year in 1849 or 1949. So we're following the Indians, Red Sox, Cardinals, Dodgers, Yankees, and occasionally the Giants. So that's who we have going in 1949. Carlos Yaz says he's here till the cows come home. All right. And Cousin Ken asking folks to hit the like button. I never ask for that, so I appreciate you guys doing that. Carlos Yaz, Cousin Ken Castro, Bernie Strom. Check out that's another great channel, May. Bernie Strom. He's starting a 1914 replay. He's recently done 1967, 1950, 1912. So Bernie all over the place on all kinds of baseball sims. Be looking for you to come back and join us for some more baseball. Tomorrow night will be 19th century. All right, so Carlos Yaz, Ken Castro, Bernie Strom, Tex Aggs, Christopher Slovic, Mr. Wrestling 2, whom we've missed. May, welcome to the family. John DFW says the 2021 Orioles finished 52 and 110, and this year they did it up well. Proud of them. Todd B, thanks for coming in. The Animal Whisperer, D. Scott Howard. Thanks. Tex Aggs, let me just say your name again because I'm always afraid of missing people. Let me see here. Clinton Parks, our professor. Thank you, Clinton Parks. Always nice when we have Clinton and Ken, the professor and the heart and soul of this channel, respectively. Mike Silva stopped in. And yes, that is the Mike Silva, guys. The Mike Silva. Dwayne Martz, YouTube Network. So for those of you still here, I'm going to repeat the story I did at the top just really, really quickly. So you know what? Last night, do I play Perfect Team? I do not. I do not. I probably should, but I do not. Right now, I figure I can create the perfect team in game, but I don't play it. I think it's, looks like a cool product. I also need to play Immaculate Grid on Baseball Reference, and I haven't done that yet either. I'm a slacker. I am a slacker. So really quickly, guys, right? So last night at the end when we were doing that, I was showing off that program again, Baseball's Greatest Hits. So I'm checking my YouTube channel today and stuff like that, looking around for a game. Nobody was doing a damn game. And I happened to notice that I got a copyright notice. So, of course, I'm panicking like, oh, my God, here we go, copyright strike. So it wasn't a copyright strike, but somebody filed a copyright claim. So you guys remember, we played like that long clip from Satchel Paige, right? And we had the one from the 1934 World Series, right? Ducky Medwick, that was like a 5-minute clip, the actual call, everything like that. And then we had that short clip from George Sisler talking about Babe Ruth hitting at batting practice home runs one-handed in that short left field or right field porch at Sportsman's Park in St. Louis. I got a copy and it said, this doesn't affect your channel. It's not a copyright strike, but somebody has put a copyright claim on your channel. And so this video may be blocked in some countries. It shows the country that last night's video was blocked in. Are you ready for this? The country is Russia. Can you believe it? I mean, Russia. So all my Russian fans, all our Russian fans out there, folks, in Murmansk and St. Petersburg and Moscow and Novgorod, whatever, I guess they know their George Sisler. So, yeah, I got a little copyright claim. Unbelievable, man. So I'm waiting for one to get blocked in Sri Lanka or something like that. But I had to share that. It's kind of a point of pride, right? Revolution's coming, says Mr. Wrestling 2. I know, right? Putin hates me, and he should. I can't stand him. So it works out. Maybe I'll get President Zelensky on here and say, Niet, comrade, right? And it's all good because besides that, we're the same faith, Zelensky and I, so why not? We're both Orthodox. But yeah, so that's really cool, man. The Russians can't see my video. I love it. I have to be the only person in the YouTube sports gaming community that's blocked in Russia. I'm bloody proud of that. All right, anyhow, guys, Ernie Harwell coming up in about 5 minutes. Thanks, everybody, for coming in, and see you next time. All right, good night.